Oh, no way. Holy pangolin, pango extra coins. Different song. Thought I'd mix it up. And welcome on May 6th to the Atrioc broadcast. Good to see you. Pixel Dimension, Stretch Armpit, Nacho. December's Truly, Germs, The Bland Banana. Yikes, that shirt kind of sag. What, just because LeBron's out? Just because my GOAT is out? Doesn't bother me none. He'll be back strong next season, and then one after that. And the next 10 after that. Till he's 50 years old, and he puts up 100 points. May the 6thness be with you. It's 5th. It is the 6th. Wait, you're right. It's the 6th. Sorry, you're sick. It's been going around. I don't want to say that the government is instituting a second COVID to keep us under control. I don't want to say that because they're listening, but it does feel like a lot of people I know are sick again. We should all chat 6 feet apart to avoid spreading it. That's actually a good idea. You guys need to chat with a distance, okay? Give yourselves a distance because you don't want... Like, you should end every sentence with 6 dots to give you some space to the next guy. There we go. There we go. That just it brings a little space. In what world is 1 dot 1 feet? I guess in a world where chatters have to be distant to avoid spreading a disease. We're doing a bit. Motherfucker, that's where it's the one. Fucking, why are you yelling at us? I'm not yelling at everyone, so don't say us. I'm yelling at that guy and maybe you. I can't say your name. I can't highlight your name. Excavaz. I butchered it. Thank you for the prime. Much appreciated. First time chatter, squeeze me. It's X squeeze me. I know you're new here. This is your first time chat. It's X squeeze me. Squeeze me implies like I'm not squeezing you. It's X squeeze me. I think you're in the wrong chat. Stop talking so loud, I'll get sick. All right, everybody relax here. Relax about this sickness. Personally, I believe the Black Death should have gotten note. See, I don't... You know, streaming's such a hard job because I have to decipher the gibberish of 1,000 strangers. I have to decipher the gibberish of 1,000 strangers just to fucking... Only 1,000? Well, whatever. I mean, we just opened. What have you personally done today to celebrate National Nurses Day? I mean, not much. I guess I took all of my life savings and I went hospital to hospital and split it up and gave it to nurses. And then I held a parade through the center of Los Angeles celebrating nurses and their contributions. And then I wrote a book on the famous nurses throughout history, starting with Florence Nightingale and on, who contributed to this great medical apparatus. And then is that all? So basically nothing. Yeah, I guess that was my first part of the day, obviously. And then, we are actually anti-nurse in chat. For what reason? Do you just think like, fuck it, the doctors can do it all? Is that... Do you think nurses are kind of like glory hounds trying to take the doctor's goodwill? They're trying to steal basically the doctor. They come in at the end and they like steal the glory. Is that, or just rank misogyny? Okay, that's another. What about a male nurse? How do you deal with that? The docs get assists only. It does. It almost feels like the opposite. My understanding is often nurses are underpaid, do a lot of the work of doctors, and then the doctor gets the glory. The doctor does kill steal in a way, sometimes literally killing. Cavs choked again. I don't want to be all NBA pilled, but the fact that the Thunder lost the Nuggets was so funny. So funny. That shit was a choke. Big fat choke. Do you think you would like it?
Hello, everybody.
Astrobot developers react to an incredible speedrun. I can't watch the Astrobot speedrun. I'm going to play it probably tomorrow. Just a little white lie. I'm going to play it tomorrow, so how can I watch the speedrun? I'm a little jokester. I'm a little tricky man. Why did I join stream to a bunch of people complaining about nurses? We usually pick a random profession of the opening of stream and then dump on them for no reason. Just a good way to get... It's the thing, it's a uniter. We can get all the chat that isn't nurses united against nurses, and then they all feel better. They feel like they're part of a community, if you will. I forgot this wasn't a VOD and gained consciousness. Hi, everybody. That's your first time chat message. You've been coming to watch the VODs every single day. And for the first day, it wasn't a VOD and you sort of woke up from your stupor. Shrimpiest, pick a topic. Pick a fucking topic, all right? First time chat to pick a topic. I'll talk about anything. I'll talk about fucking anything. We're in the opening moves of the chess game between me and chat. Pick a topic. What do you want to talk about? What's on your mind? Okay, you're a first-time chatter around here. Not saying a damn word. Why does no one ever respond? Why does no one ever respond? It's crazy. You can pick anything. There actually is no wrong answer. He said, I can't. That's not a topic. That's not a topic. I can't is not a topic. I guess I'll say this. Actually, I can talk about anything, so I'll talk about I can't. I can't is the best laughing emote that Twitch has had. It's the best laughing meta because when there's a wall of I can'ts, it looks like everyone's laughing. It's good. It's my favorite one. It's better than the Keck W meta. Lol W was fine too. Obviously, I like the Total Biscuit one, but I think I can't really gets it done. Omega Lol, I can't. Omega Lol. Here's the thing about Omega Lol. This is my other hot take. A bunch of Omega Lols is fine, but a wall of I can'ts that has a few Omega Lols popping through makes it feel like a real crowd. It makes it feel like somebody's really roaring. Okay? But when it's all Omega Lols, that doesn't really work. Wait 1 second. Oh, God, dude, I'm crying. But I'm crying with laughter. Hey, Big A, can you write a 1,500-word paper about Frankenstein and get it to me by tomorrow? I subbed. You could pay ChatGPT to do this. You could... I will do this if you pay me. Because ChatGPT will do it for me and I'll give it to you. Oh, God. Say one nice thing about Trump. Bro can dance. He's one one of the best dancers of his age. Also, I'll say one more thing nice about Trump. And this has to be said. I'm sorry, but it has to be said. During the presidential debate of 2024, there was a bit of a tiff between Joe Biden and Donald Trump over who would be the better golfer. I am sorry to say, Donald Trump is not a great golfer. He's a cheating golfer. He would beat Biden's ass. he would beat Biden's ass at golfing. That doesn't matter for president. It's not a big fucking deal. He's out there every day, bro. The guy's on the green regularly. George Bush, that's a president who could challenge Trump at golfing. George Bush can drive. George Bush is Happy Gilmore out there. Actually, that's a great question. It's actually not a great question. It's a really stupid question. But I'm going to ask it anyway. Which president would be the best golfer? I just want to know. Which president would be the best golfer? All things considered. I'm asking ChatGPT, I'll be honest with you. If all U.S. presidents were theoretically given the same equipment, the following might have the edge based on their historical traits. Number one, by a mile, Gerald Ford. Avid golfer. He was a collegiate football player and had enthusiasm and athleticism. There you go. JFK played golf well, but hid it publicly to avoid the privileged image. I did not know that. JFK played golf, but hid it to avoid seeming like a rich kid. Bro, you seemed like a rich kid. You didn't work. It didn't work, dude. JFK doesn't have the head for golf. Really? Too soon. I'm sorry. Too fucking soon. I'm sorry, but too fucking soon. Can we have a little tact on these things? Okay? My God, it just happened, it feels like. At least to me. It feels like just yesterday I was on that grassy knoll, tightening my scope. And now people are making jokes about it. It's how quick does time go? The fall of Rome feels like yesterday to do, which is so appropriate because I am reading the next book, The Storm Before the Storm, about the fall of Rome. Did you guys know that as Rome was falling, there was actually a lot of inequality in society, and the government had massive debts and was devaluing the currency to try to pay them? So interesting. Do you know there was a lot of political infighting, and factionalism, and an inability of the government to get things done because of different factional groups? Did you know that? Just interesting. Damn it! I threw the book on the floor and it bent. Good thing we learned from history. Yeah, facts. Atrioc, how do we verify that stuff written from that era is accurate? Is there a method for it? I just remember because I was there. So what I do is I look at the book and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. And it just reminds me of what was going on in Rome at the time. So it is completely verified. Chaws, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate it. A lot of people asking about Pakistan and India going hot war. Truth is, bro, I just saw the headline an hour ago, so I probably won't talk about it. Maybe I'll watch a video, but that's something I got to read a lot more about. But, you know, the normal Twitch response would be to put it in my title, say drama, and then make wild accusations about it while knowing very little. But I'm not going to do that because it's good for views, but there's nothing you're going to learn about. You're not going to learn anything real. You're just going to fucking... And then chat's going to workshop their wild theories about it off of no knowledge, and then we're going to have a fucking... But it won't... There'll be nothing. The Pakistan-India beef is crazy. Damn, that clip though. Damn, that clip would go brazy. And then me like this and the thumbnail with like a missile firing. Fuck, that would actually make us money, Adish. Trump won't fund California's high-speed rail. Well, I'm not worried about that because I'll fund it. You know what I'm saying? Gold price is up, baby. Atrioc's rich. I'm about to fucking... We're building a train. Andor today? I know. Ford was... Oh, there's a presidential... Wait, I'm sorry. I want to go back to this, but someone has an actual source. Someone has an actual source of golfers, presidential golfers ranked by their handicap. Now, if you don't know golf terminology, that doesn't mean they are in a wheelchair or whatever. No way. Is this an AI-generated blog? No way. I don't believe this. This has Trump at a 2.8. But it's also including that he won 19 club championships. But like those, I mean, those are notoriously fake. A 2.8 is crazy. No fucking shot. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. This also has Bill Clinton's nickname is Billigan. I've never heard Bill Clinton called Billigan. What the fuck is that? No way. This article's... This is whack, dude. This is whack. Only close friends call him that. You're all close personal friends with Bill Clinton? Really? Hey, Shark, why did you lie and say Andor was great? I watched the whole thing and deadass had to play Clash of Clans and Brawl Stars during it because that shit was so uninteresting and confusing. Nah, you're right, bro. You're right. You're right. You're right. Nah, I'm an idiot. I'm the dumb one. Fuck, I'm stupid. Atrioc, I started playing Expedition 33 upon your recommendation of it being like Sekiro mixed with Pokemon. I'm not enjoying it very much. Wait, don't. You guys are baiting me. You guys are baiting me. Even this one is like a bait because it's like, you know my stance. You know my fucking stance. Even this nice question is a bait because you know, you're just saying things that you know will get a response out of me. Come on. Well, there's so much to talk about in this world. If you give Exhibition 33 one more try, I'll gift subs. Do you realize that being able to refuse you and say I don't need the fucking subs is more joy to me than any amount of subs you could give? Do you realize the ability to be like, nah, fuck off, I'm not going to play it, is like the greatest rush of all time? It's freedom. So it actually makes it more likely I won't play. We're talking about 10,000 subs? Well, let's see. The game really seems promising. You said 10,000 subs? I mean, the game actually really looked like it had a real heart to it. You know what I'm saying? A real emotional crux that I feel like I was really just grasping. I played Blueprints an hour ago before I went live today. And I finally got, not even a spoiler, I finally got the trophy, I guess that's a spoiler, for filling every single room in the mansion on one run. It was based. It was fucking sick. And I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really cool. What would you do if I bought you an SU7? Drive it. Have you seen? I want to watch the Carney thing, dude. I was vibing with you guys for a bit, but I wanted to watch the video of Trump meeting Mark. Oh wait, dude, I wanted to watch this first. Did you guys know? Because pretty soon no one will talk about the Australian election again. Even the Australians don't care about their own fucking election after it's over. So we're not going to talk about it after like a fucking day. But I saw some things that I wanted to say that I didn't get to include in my video, which are namely that Peter Dutton and his coalition released a rap song. I would have definitely included this.
Diss track.
The money we're spending on groceries. I just want to buy some eggs and cheese.
So tell you what happened to the money.
No, I cut off. Wait.
Buy some eggs and cheese.
Is there more? Where's the more? Dude, I need to find the full. Someone's got it online. What was it called? It was called like Labor's Gone or something. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Leaving Labor diss track.
It ain't the way that it's supposed to be. The money we're spending on groceries. I just want to buy some eggs and cheese. $100, you kidding me? It costs too much to live. The economy's looking a mess. So we living check to check. Labor got us feeling so stressed. We need to find a solution. Need to switch up the people in power. I just want to put food on the table. So I'm willing to do what I gotta. Bring them prices down. This is what we need. Cause Albo's gotta leave. Albo's gotta leave. Hey, bring them prices down. This is what we need, cause Albo's gotta leave. Albo's gotta leave. Hey, situation is critical. Rent prices are at the pinnacle. We gotta redirect the focus. I'm just keeping it real when I'm telling you.
It's so fire to drop this and then lose like your own seat and 8 seats and get blown out in a majority. It is so Drake coded, to be honest, given that
something that's gotta change. Open your eyes. Labor lied about bringing the price of electricity down over 97 times. Bring them prices down. This is what we need. Cause Albo's gotta leave. Albo's gotta leave.
Damn, that is quite a fucking track. My God. Anyway, I didn't know that was part of it. I also didn't know this. Just to show that the cringe was on both sides. The cringe was on both sides of the Australian election.
They are Delulu with no Salulu.
This moment.
That's a real quote. That's a real quote by the current Prime Minister.
They are Delulu with no Salulu.
It was that into a rap diss track. I wish I was able to include that in my clip, bro. What a fire couple of bars. Are you going to tell me he's wrong? How can he be wrong when he sounds so right, you know? That's how won him all the millennial votes? Yeah, that's what it was. That's what did it. If Trump did a rap, he would save the economy. You guys always are giving really strong theories in the chat. You guys are always saying things with such confidence that I can't help but feel like you must be correct. You must see. I don't even see the connection between Trump dropping a rap and the economy doing better. But you guys say it with such confidence that I must be missing something. There must be a link that I'm not. Any tips for not getting Australia and Canada mixed up? One is like cold Europe and one is like hot Europe. Yeah, it's pretty common misconception. Pretty hard to keep track. Just try to use the animals. It's polar bears and it's kangaroos, okay? Canada equals sea equals cold. That's it. That's the one. That's the one. You hear Canada, think, yeah, Australia's like, it's hot. Australia. I'm hot. That's, now you've got it. What's your take on the F1 drama? Oh, I'll tell you about that. That's drama I want to get into. Here's my take on the F1 drama. Let the racers race. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we don't care about the fucking administration. What we care about is letting these fucking top tier racers use their incredibly powerful machines to zoom around that fucking track. Let the racers race. Shut up and race. I don't care about the who said what, okay? I want to see some speed on the fucking track. I didn't know you knew wheel. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Hey, big A just bought a deep freezer, 50 pounds of meat, and $300 worth of toilet paper, ready for the depression. You're ready for some weird bowel movements. And that's it. I feel like you're ready for a strange activity inside your body. I don't know that you're ready for the depression. You're ready for depression. You're not ready for the economic depression, but you are quite ready for being depressed. Are you going to watch the F1 movie? All right, can we be real? So if you guys don't know, there's an F1 movie coming out where Brad Pitt plays some kind of famous racer. But Brad Pitt's like 65, right? Isn't it kind of wild that he's like playing like a fucking 30-year-old racer in his prime or whatever? Isn't that kind of like, come on, dude? Isn't that basically Tom Cruise? Yeah, but Tom Cruise is playing Tom Cruise. He's playing himself. You're 90 and you stream to 12-year-olds? Okay. First of all, you're 11. First of all, you're 11, so don't age yourself up just yet. Second of all, I'm not saying he can't make a movie for younger people. I'm saying he can't play a younger person. I'm saying Brad Pitt is not believable as a 31-year-old racer. He's playing a 50-year-old? There was a 50-year-old in F1? 50-year-old F1 racer. I'm just making sure this is real. The oldest driver to have scored one or more points. Luigi Fagioli, am I saying that right? Was 53 years old and 22 days. And he shot the CEO of F1 right after he got out of his car. Crazy how that works. Fucking crazy how that works. Drive to post defend. Let's do. Let's do, dude. Elden Ring movie confirmed? Wait a minute. You're joking. A24 is doing an Elden Ring movie? This is only on MovieWeb. This is only on MovieWeb. MovieWeb is not a... It's on MovieWeb and The Gamer. But it's not on anywhere... It's not on anywhere fucking sourced. I can't find it anywhere other than that, so I will have to not. I mean, you can look, but... An Elden Ring film has reportedly been greenlit and already has a director. Alex Garland of Ex Machina and Civil War? Damn. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me just because I think it was in Variety. I read something pretty good. And it was about how Hollywood has well and truly realized that the money is in video game movies. They already realized it, but after Minecraft, they've realized they have nothing else. And in fact, they are all in on video game movies now. It's like that is where the IP is. That is the new version of like mining books. They are now mining video games. That actually would be a really fun. That would be a really fun video, like a YouTube video to make about the pivot into video game movies. Like they've mined crafts, but now movies folding to gaming is crazy. I mean, it's been in the works for a while. As gamers, we've all known that we've spent more of our dollars and time on games than movies. But as it's taken over all of society, gaming is now so much bigger than movies. I guess movies are bending the knee in a way. And they have to, every gaming IP is actually, I'm trying to think, dude, there's probably a bidding war on every top tier gaming story to be a movie. Can't wait to see fucking Clash of Clans, the movie. That's going to be good. Slay the Spire movie. How much for the Get to Work IP? It is free if I don't play the lead character. Okay. Because I'm not bald, so I couldn't do it. Stardew Valley movie's going to go hard. You know what's funny is like, so you think about it, Stardew Valley would be a terrible movie. But then you think about it again and like, somebody could make a Stardew Valley movie. For sure. Somebody could. If it was like, or a Stardew Valley TV show, oh my God. A Stardew Valley TV show about romance in the town of Stardew? Neighbor drama? Life on the farm? People would watch that. It needs 200 million funding. When's the Cookie Clicker movie? City boys wouldn't get it. I'm sorry. I guess I'm too much of a city boy. I guess I'm too much of a city boy. A Dark Souls movie? I mean, you could do that. Elden Ring movie. This seems fake, this announcement, but it wouldn't surprise me if it happened. It wouldn't surprise me if it happened. Jack Black as the target. It would be great if we get a bunch of video game movies, but they have to be Jack Black. You have to find a role for Jack Black in every one of them. Dude, what if it's like Eddie Murphy, Nutty Professor style, where Jack Black plays every single role in Elden Ring? So he's like Ranni and Godric and the Tarnished and and it's all just Jack Black. Queen America, yeah. Dude, what about a Quincy movie? What about a Bloons movie? A gritty, harsh, live-action Bloons movie. They do it like the Lion King CGI lions. And it's a tragic war movie about Quincy losing his family and fighting on against the Bloons. Jack Black as the Moab. Jack Black as the Moab, dude. Holy fucking cinema. Chris Pratt as the Cannon. Yes, exactly. Chris Pratt as the Cannon. Idris Elba as the fucking wizard monkey tutu or something. Timothy Chalamet as fucking boomerang monkey. Kevin Hart as the DDT. GTA 6 movie. The game isn't out. Let's stop worrying about the movie until the game is out. Bro's trying to get the fucking movie before the game. New trailer? Wait, there's a new GTA 6 trailer? You for real? Today, 13 hours ago. Shit. Bro, call me under a rock. I read a book today, bro. I read a book. Played a little Blueprints. Under a rock. Didn't see the fucking 12 hours ago GTA trailer. Shut the fuck up, bro.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
Seriously, dude, you got some time?
Yawn. Looks like GTA 5. Yawn. Fucking expansion pack. Yawn. Looks the fucking same. Okay? Sorry to go over.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
Oh, that's why you came by?
Just go get me my checks.
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason.
Okay. Living that Miami life.
I'm here for Lucia Caminos. She's supposed to be getting out.
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
I seen you here before.
You might have.
I mean, I'm glad they gave us a trailer instead of the game releasing the year they said it would. Like all fans, I prefer trailers to the real game. So, very glad that got delayed another fucking 8 months. I would love to get a Silksong trailer rather than actually play it. You can't rush art. You actually can't. It's what I'm doing right now. Hurry up, Silk Song! Hurry up! That's called rushing art. I do it all the time. They can choose to ignore me, but I can rush it. No, my nose. I'll just say this. We, and I say we, it was pretty much all me doing the coding. We made Get to Work in a year, and Get to Work is the equivalent game to Silk Song, right? So why does it take longer? Do you know what I'm saying? Is anyone doing the math on this? Do you think, I'm not accusing them of anything, but do you guys think it's possible that Team Cherry have been sitting around an office doing cocaine for years and they just frantically decided this year to make the game in one quick rush? They were like, oh shit, I knew we forgot something. And they're just like Googling how to make a game, Silk Song fan theories, and like copy pasting it into the story document. I just think that's called vibe coding. No, you gotta bring it. Don't spam Joler. Hot. Da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Do-do-do-do-do. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Bro, better not get that septum surgery or it'll ruin the Yep Coke bit. I'm actually talked about it with Ari yesterday. I think I am going to get... I'm at least going to get a consult. I'm going to go to an ENT and see if I have like a deviated septum or some shit. Because it's crazy. Why does it get so fucking stuffed? Do you guys know when I sleep, I wear a fucking nose strip that pulls my nose apart? It's just like a sticker that you put and it goes... We know, bro. You talk about it a lot. I recommend it. I think a lot of you are benefited by it. I think if you try it, you'll really enjoy it. I sleep so much better since I discovered that. Anyway, let's watch Trump talk with Carney. I saw some of the clips, I saw some of the headlines, but I haven't watched the interview today, and I want to see how it goes. If you don't know, the new Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney here. I'm not a manager. Let me change this. Mark Carney flew out to the White House to meet with Donald Trump. Now, one thing I did notice is that Donald Trump posted where did I put this? Maybe here? Oh, yeah, here. The White House, I'm sorry, posted this. It's a great honor to have Prime Minister Mark Carney with us. A few days ago, he won a very big election in Canada, and I think Canada chose a very talented person. That's sweet. All right, a little olive branch. The most important line here is he called him Prime Minister Mark Carney. He didn't say Governor Mark Carney. So maybe some progress, bro. Maybe Mark Carney standing up for Canada and himself has made some progress. But we'll see how this actually goes in the meeting. I'm not sure if how this goes. We'll see. Let's watch. Dude, it's such an awkward thing to do. First of all, to have a public discussion like this where you just have to sit there and not talk while everything, it's just awkward. God, it's awkward. I also have to say, man, I saw a before and after of this room. This is the Oval Office, right? This is the Oval Office before Trump added all the gold, dude. It's crazy how much gold he added. There's so many, like, it looks like fucking Trump Tower, dude. Here. Is there a good... Trump brings the bling with gold-plated Oval Office. Is this the... Yeah, it's a gold-plated Oval Office makeover. But I can't... This doesn't have the before in it. I'll just show you this picture because you can really see the amount of gold. It's just like... All of this wasn't there. Most of these portraits weren't there. All the gold, basically, you see was added. So much gold. Let's see. Where did the gold come from? I sold it to him. I'm a gold trader now. There's gold in the hills. Dude, it's so awkward.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great honor to have Prime Minister Mark Carney with us. As you know, just a few days ago, he won a very big election in Canada. And I think I was probably the greatest thing that happened to him, but I can't take full credit. His party was losing by a lot, and he ended up winning. So I really want to congratulate him. It was probably one of the greatest comebacks.
This is all true. This is all true, and I think funny and self-deprecating, but it's the weird implication that the reason was because of you. But in a negative way. It was a negative way. It was like...
in the history of politics, maybe even greater than mine. But I want to just congratulate.
I will say, calling him prime minister, step in the right direction. My hope, I truly haven't watched this interview. My hope is that someone around Trump, because I think Trump is usually a embodiment of the last person he spoke to. That is my big theory on Trump, is he just seems to talk about what the last person he spoke to. So I'm hoping that maybe Scott Besson or someone talked to him and said, hey, it's getting fucking serious out there with these trade deals. If we lose Canada, one of our closest allies, we're getting fucked. Xi Jinping is on a global press tour. Xi Jinping is going on a global charm offensive. Xi Jinping is flying around to every country on the globe, shaking hands, smiling, making deals. We have to get back on track here. And it starts with a softer and ally-like tone to Canada. So I'm hoping that's the stance put forward in this meeting. I mean, I legitimately hope that, because I think the Trump stance on Canada has been one of, and there's many bad things about his administration so far, but that's one of the dumbest things. Canada is a very close ally, very close neighbor, very close trade partner, trades more with us than China. Antagonizing them and tariffing them and threatening them with annexation is fucking crazy. It's truly short-sighted and makes no one able to trust working with us. It's just bad. It's just a bad idea. And it's already nearly impossible to glue that fabric back together, but this is a start would be normalizing talks so that you can at least reopen trade.
That was a great election, actually. We were watching it with interest, and I think Canada chose a very talented person, a very good person, because we spoke before the election quite a few times. And it's an honor to have you at the White House and the Oval Office. And you see the new and improved Oval Office as it
It's very gold.
becomes more and more beautiful with love. We handle it with great love and 24-karat gold. That always helps too. But it's been a lot of fun. We're going over some of the beautiful pictures that were stored in the vaults that were for many, many years, in some cases over 100 years.
Bro, I got to pause one more clip that I have to show you that I saw that really baffled me, bro. Maybe some of you could know what I'm going to bring up. It's crazy. This is a crazy clip. This interviewer asks Trump about the Declaration of Independence, and it becomes very clear that he doesn't know what the Declaration of Independence is, bro.
Here you have the original of Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, and of course you have the Declaration of Independence.
What does it mean to you?
Well, it means exactly what it says. It's a declaration. It's a declaration of unity and love and respect, and it means a lot. And it's something very special to our country. Here you have the original.
Dude, this clip is fucking wild. His face. It's a declaration of love and unity. Literally a declaration of war on Great Britain, of independence. Like, how the president not knowing that instantly. It's crazy. That's on the citizenship test for America. Anyway, not neither here nor there for this meeting, but this Oval Office reminded me of that.
It was stored in vaults of the great presidents, or almost great presidents, all having a reason for being up, every one of them. So it's very interesting. But I just want to congratulate you, and ran a really great race. I watched the debate. I thought you were excellent, and I think we have a lot of things in common. We have some tough points to go over, and that'll be fine. We're going to also be discussing Ukraine, Russia, the war, because...
Dude, I gotta say again, why do they do this shit publicly? I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Why can't they do a meeting in private and then maybe a little press conference after? I hate this shit. It's fucking... This is performative. You can't get a real deal where people talk openly and honestly with a fucking... I don't like it at all, man. I don't like that shit at all. I mean, it's good for streamers. We get content. But as a citizen, like, I don't need to see this meeting. The two presidents, or two leaders of their countries, I'm sorry, can meet in private without my knowledge. I would love to hear a summary. I'd love to hear...
Mark wants it ended as quickly as I do. I think it has to end. We had some very good news last night. The Houthis have announced that they are not, or they've announced to us at least, that they don't want to fight anymore. They just don't want to fight. And we will honor that. And we will stop the bombings. And they have capitulated. But more importantly, we will take their word. They say they will not be blowing up ships anymore. And that's what the purpose of what we were doing. So that's just news. We just found out about that. So I think that's very, very positive. They were knocking out a lot of ships going, as you know, sailing beautifully down the various seas. It was...
describes so many things as beautiful, just randomly. The various seas. There wasn't various seas. It wasn't one. It was the one straight near Yemen, bro. It's one sea. Oh.
It wasn't just the canal. It was a lot of other places. And I will accept their word, and we are going to stop the bombing of the Houthis, effective immediately. And Marco, you'll let everybody know that, okay? Do you have something to say about that, by the way? It's a pretty big announcement.
Yeah, this was always a freedom of navigation mission. These guys, these are, a band of individuals with advanced weaponry that were threatening global shipping. And the job was to get that to stop. And if it's going to stop, then we can stop. And I think it's an important development.
And we'll have maybe before we're going to, as you know, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, We're going to UAE and Qatar, and that'll be, I guess, Monday night. Some of you are coming with us. I think before then we're going to have a very, very big announcement to make.
Oh, yeah?
As big as it gets, and I won't tell you on what, but it's going to, and it's very positive. I'd also.
Bro, he talks like my friend in 5th grade, bro. He talks like a kid I knew in school that just wants attention. Is it Silk Song? Is it fucking Silk Song? It's big. It's big. I will say, I mean, I can include it in this, is like there was some discussion today that talks have officially opened, trade talks between China and the U.S. And I want to say, like, I haven't been able to do a full update, but I have been researching on my own time the impacts of the tariff on the China side. And they do exist. They do exist. I mean, factories are I wouldn't say all of them are closing, but they're closing. Some of them are being propped, like the government is like stabilization funds. Their goal was to make sure nobody, almost like a COVID level of stimulus to try and stop any shutdowns from the tariffs so they can outlast the trade war. But there's damage on both sides. And we haven't even fully felt the damage here yet. I think we're about to. I think May and June, as the warehouses full of pre-imported stuff runs out, that's when we're starting to feel the damage in America. But there's slowdowns on both sides. China and the U.S. are both the biggest losers of this trade war. They're the ones both impacted. China did say there were talks. That's correct. Yeah, China said there were talks. So they're both talking. I don't know what it means. My expectation is that based on the slow progress of even the Japan negotiations, this is not a slam dunk by any measure. I think there's a really, really, really large gulf to try and bridge. I would be very surprised. I could see it normalizing it closer to like a 60% tariff, but I would think it would be very unlikely to go back to the way it was. The countries that seem most likely to, eventually some trade deals will get signed. If no, I mean, there's like, it's insane how they haven't signed anybody yet. There's like 200 ongoing negotiations. They can't get one to sign. I think the most likely are Australia, UK, Israel. Those are the three that are most likely to get some kind of trade deal signed. I think India, Japan, Europe are the more important ones, and they're moving glacially slow. There seems to be no fucking progress. And then China is just now beginning, and it's probably the most important one to figure out. So, yeah, I think this idea that the trade deals would be very easy to sign and they would get done is proving false and causing damage. And I think the damage hasn't even been fully felt yet. That's a little bit not Canada related. Maybe a Canada deal could get signed. I don't know. It depends on, let me see how this meeting goes. It's very Brexit-esque, just to be quite honest. I do think Trump's tariff plan is very Brexit-esque, where anyone in the UK will look back and be like, that was a bad choice. That overall, that has been negative. And I think this is very similar. It's an impulsive trade decision that doesn't understand that you're dealing with other actors with their own goals who will move around you. They will go somewhere else. They will, I think it is a much, again, it's a bigger scale Brexit.
So I tell you if it was negative or positive. I can't keep that out. It is really, really positive. And that announcement will be made either Thursday or Friday or Monday before we leave. But it'll be one of the most important announcements that have been made in many years about a certain subject, very important subject.
Dude, he's teasing so hard. One of the most important announcements in many years on a certain subject, an important subject. Ponzi scheme iceberg, perhaps? Silk Song? That would be huge.
So you'll all be here. Mark, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I'm on the edge of my seat, actually,
I
for the big announcement. But thank you for your hospitality and above all, for your leadership. You're you're a transformational president, focus on the economy with a relentless focus on the American worker, securing your borders, ending the scourge of fentanyl and other opioids, and securing the world. And I've been elected with my colleagues here, with the help of my colleagues here. I'm going to spread the.
Okay, I respect what he's doing. I do know that I can already tell that there's going to be Canadians mad. Given how he ran, I can understand. I think he's being pragmatist. But I think I get what he's doing. But I can already tell people are going to be mad. It's funny. I think it's smart. At the end of the day, the economy's number one. Actually, I think it's smart because just being 100% real, a trade war with America, even if it's fucking stupid on Trump's side, and even if it hurts America too, is devastating to Canada. And if he has that happen on his watch, people will have their standard of living drop. And that will be bad for Canada, for his party, so I think that's fair. He said nothing that he was just transformative. Yeah, he said he was transformative. He said he's relentless focus on the American worker. He said you're fighting to stop the scourge of fentanyl. Okay, he's saying the key things that Trump wants to hear. I understand. I'm watching.
Credit to transform Canada with a similar focus on the economy, securing our borders, again on fentanyl, much greater focus on defense and security, securing the Arctic and developing the Arctic. And the history of Canada and the U.S. is we're stronger when we work together, and there's many opportunities to work together. And I look forward to addressing some of those issues that we have, but also finding those areas of mutual cooperation so we can move forward.
That's great. Very nice. Thank you very much. It's a very nice statement.
Anybody?
Okay.
Is USMCA dead?
No, it was actually very effective, and it's still very effective, but people have to follow it. So, that's been a problem. People haven't followed it. But
what was the question?
It was a transitional step a little bit. And as you know, it terminates fairly shortly. It gets renegotiated very shortly. But I thought it was a very positive step from NAFTA. NAFTA was the worst trade deal in the history of our country, probably in the history of the world. And this was a transitional deal, and we'll see what happens. We're going to be starting to possibly renegotiate that if it's even necessary. I don't know that it's necessary anymore, but it served a very good purpose. And the biggest purpose it served is we got rid of NAFTA. NAFTA was a very unfair deal for the United States. Very, very terrible deal. It should have never been made. It was made many years ago, but it should have never been made.
Canada and the United States. Would you like to see your first trade deal be with Canada?
I would love that. Look, I have a lot of respect for this man, and I watched him come up in a sense through the ranks when he wasn't given much of a chance, and he ran a really great campaign. He did a really great debate. I think that debate was very helpful. I was going to raise my hand. I don't know if that's good or bad. I shouldn't say that. That might hurt you. But no, he ran a really great election, I thought. And yeah, something could happen. Something could happen. Yeah, please.
What's the top concession you want out of Canada? The top concession you want out of Canada?
Concession?
Yes.
Friendship.
But that's not a concession.
No, we're going to be friends with Canada.
I mean, he is speaking a different tone. This is different than a Trudeau meeting. Okay, you flash back a couple of months. The top concession you want from Canada is friendship. Really? Because you could have had that in January if you didn't call him Governor Trudeau and say, he's so hot and cold, dude. He's so bipolar. Yeah, you didn't say 51st state in open tweets. So
regardless of anything, we're going to be friends with Canada. Canada is a very special place to me. I know so many.
My assumption, right? This is speculation. My assumption, based on the way he's talking in the beginning, is that somebody has course corrected him a bit, given him advice that like this is not the way to do things. But I wonder if he can make it this whole meeting without saying 51st state. I feel like it's in him. I feel like it's in him like the Green Goblin mask. And I wonder if he can make it. I actually don't know, but I...
People that live in Canada. My parents had relatives that lived in Canada, my mother in particular. And no, I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, how good, the great one. You happen to have a very, very good hockey player right here on the Capitals, who I have a lot of respect. He is a big, tough cookie, too. He just broke the record. And he's a great guy. And, we had the team here, and I got to know a lot of the players. But
you talking about Ovechkin?
Canada is a very special place. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, I'd like to get your response to this too. But Mr. President, you have said that Canada should become the 51st state.
Yeah. No. Well, I still believe that, but it takes two to tango, right? But no, I do. I mean, I believe it would be a massive tax cut for the Canadian citizens. You get free military, you get tremendous medical cares and other things. There would be a lot of advantages.
That's wild.
But it would be a massive tax cut, and it's also a beautiful. As a real estate developer, I'm a real estate developer at heart. When you get rid of that artificially drawn line, somebody drew that line.
Dude, I just can't. Like, it makes me cringe. Can you imagine reaching your hand out and patting the Canadian Prime Minister who flew down here on the arm while you're talking about eliminating the artificially drawn line? That is your sovereign boundary. Fuck, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. And the bar is so in the floor, but I guess he did say, he said it takes two to tango, which implies that he is still of the belief, it's a like his way of speaking is that, okay, we're not going to do anything militarily, but Canadians just will want this. They're going to vote for it. They're going to fucking vote for it, which is crazy, which is fucking crazy.
Many years ago with like a ruler, just a straight line right across the top of the country. When you look at that beautiful formation when it's together,
Carney.
I'm a very artistic person, but when I looked at that,
Carney, bro, that's an impossible situation to be in. I feel for him. It's tough. Like, you can choose this moment to like, it depends, man. It depends on what your goal is. If he like stops the meeting here and goes, it's tough. Because you could stop the meeting here. You could crash out. You could be, and I think you'd win a lot of political points. But I think if you're a true pragmatist, you want to get that deal. While moving your shit away from America, like getting more in bed with Europe, getting oil deals with China, which they've been doing. That's what I think the smart play is. I think you could make a political play to like crash out here, but I think he's doing the more pragmatist play. And I do respect it. It's just when it's so public like this, people will give you shit. We'll see.
That I said that's the way it was meant to be. But it's I do feel it's much better for Canada. But we're not going to be discussing that unless somebody wants to discuss it. I think that there are tremendous benefits to the Canadian citizens, tremendously lower taxes, free military, which honestly we give you.
He's gritting his teeth. He's gritting his fucking teeth. He's just he's no longer smiling. It's crazy how he's doubling down. He said, we're not going to speak of this, and he comes back to speaking it. It's, he's just so, he can't stay on message, bro. You can tell that he was told and agreed to not talk about 51st state, but then one question on it, and he's fucking.
You essentially anyway, because we're protecting Canada if you ever had a problem. But I think, it would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. And we have done that in the past. And part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
And they have.
Hey, good answer. Good compliment sandwich. For dealing with Trump. Good, Okay, not for sale, but you really have helped revitalize the military. I think pretty well answered. But then Trump got all pouty. He's miffed. He's fucking fiddling with his hands, and he's.
They have. I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, they were low, and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
Why? Come on! Take the fucking compliment. Move on. My God. Oh, my fucking God, dude. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, dude. Did he roll his eyes? Wait, let me see.
Stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
He says never twice. Okay. Just come on, dude. Ugh.
What would it take to get the tariffs top of Canada?
Well, we'll be talking about different things. Like, we want to protect our automobile business, and so does Mark. But we want to make the automobiles, and we want to, we have a tremendous abundance of energy, more than any country. We have, just in Alaska alone, ANWR has been reopened now. ANWR is probably the largest find anywhere in the world. They say it's larger than Saudi Arabia. I don't know, but it's a lot. But we have tremendous amounts of energy. Other countries don't. We're both lucky in that way. They have energy. We have energy. We have more than we can ever use and more than we could ever sell, actually. And you have the same thing. So we're two countries that are very lucky. If you look at China, they don't have that. It's a big disadvantage. Other countries, most countries don't have. Most countries don't have that. So Canada and us, we have a lot of advantages over other places.
When you consider what Mr. Carney just said, that Canada is not for sale, does this make the discussion a little more difficult to start on?
No, not at all. No, not at all. No, time will tell. It's only time. But I never say never. I've had many Dude, things that were.
You gotta have the ability, because the reporters are going to ask this question because they know you're going to say a fucking crazy answer. You have to be able to say, I've answered that question. At the very least, if you're not going to change your insane fucking opinion, you have to be able to say, let's move on. Because we're fucking 11 minutes into this, and you spent most of the time, we were supposed to be like doing this feel good reconnect with Canada, where you're talking about their lack of sovereignty. It's crazy. It's crazy. Or someone, I'm gonna be honest with you, someone around Trump has to stop the report from asking that question. Or say it's been answered or whatever, because he needs to just have some self-control, dude. That's crazy. He can't keep doing this. You can't answer that to every question. There's no way to build a partnership at all, at any kind of partnership.
Not doable, and they ended up being doable, and only doable in a very friendly way. But if it's to everybody's benefit, Canada loves us and we love Canada. That's, I think, the number one thing that's important. But we'll see. I mean, over time, we'll see what happens. China.
I was hoping you could clarify something. Earlier this morning on Capitol Hill, Secretary Bessent said that there have been no negotiations yet with China. You have said something different.
Dude, I mean, it's like, it's he's clip farming. It's not good, dude. It's not. It's a terrible thing to keep bringing up. What was the China question? Dude, I can't hear the question. What is the point of this fucking footage if I can't hear the reporter's question? I have to just infer it?
They want to meet, and they're doing no business right now. And those ships are turning around in the Pacific Ocean. Big turn. Those are big ships. Those ships take about 10 miles to turn.
Big, beautiful ships.
And, we lost $1 trillion to China on trade because of an incompetent president that we had who preceded me, grossly incompetent.
No. We had $1 trillion goods surplus. Okay? And they got a bunch of our printed fucking money.
You're finding it out more and more now. And by not trading, we're losing nothing. So we're saving.
You just said the ships are turning around, bro. We're losing all the goods. Empty shelves, more expensive things. That's what we're losing.
$1 trillion. It's a lot. But they want to negotiate and they want to have a meeting, and we'll be meeting with them at the right time.
But you haven't met with them yet.
I have not met with them, of course. You would know if I met. I'd tell you. They want to meet.
You did. You said you met with him. That's a fucking... You said Xi Jinping called you and then they denied it, and now you're saying you never met with him. Anyway, supposedly they're meeting now. Okay, this is from China. And supposedly there's at least talks have begun. I don't know if Xi Jinping's involved or Trump, but...
But, we are right now... Look, they're suffering greatly. Their economy is suffering greatly because they're not doing trade with the U.S. And they made most of their money off the U.S. Don't kid yourself. They don't make the money off other countries like this. And they were making... We had a trade imbalance. We had a deficit, or they had a surplus, another way of saying it, of more than $1 trillion. Think of it, more than $1 trillion. And because of 145%, that's the only reason, but because of they have now 145% tariff, there's no trading. You can't trade with 145%.
That's true. That's true.
We are, therefore, making, in a certain way, I guess, $1.1 trillion. In other words, we're not losing $1.1 trillion. Our deficit is much better. When I started, I say we were losing billions of dollars a day on trade. That's rapidly turning around. We looked at numbers this morning.
You're just not trading. It's like if you stop buying groceries, dude, you're not making money. You just don't get the things you were buying before. He's anti-consumption, I guess, in a weird way. I think he's more of like he's on our anti-consumption. And again, I want to reiterate, this is such an important facet of this, is that, massive trade blockades like this only really work for the Naboo. In real life, on Earth, people find ways around them over and over and over. And this article I was reading today about, there's just ads popping up all over Little Red Book, Xiaohongshu, and all these fucking things about ways to ship your goods, if you're Chinese, through countries like Malaysia. It's like, hey, do you have a good you want to get to America? We will help you put a fucking fake Malaysian thing on it. Like, it's already becoming productized. Transit through Malaysia, transfer from Southeast Asian goods. There are ads. Like, there's not even, it's becoming a business already because there's money. Because Americans want the goods. We have the money for it. And the tariffs, the only way to make a fucking blockade like this work is to have, again, so many global countries allied with you working together on it. You can't do it alone. There's just going to be a million holes that they can leak through. I don't know how to say. The U.S. has set limits on Chinese wooden flooring and tableware. Wash the origin in Malaysia for smooth custom clearance. South Korea, already reported people were using South Korean ports. Tons of places are already opening up to get around the tariffs. Place of origin washing. It's just a business. And this is not just an American thing. It's happened again all the way back to Napoleon. And before that, anytime you try to do these mass blockades, it creates this secondary black market. So, Vietnam, Thailand. Yeah, it's just worth mentioning that it's kind of silly to try and do it like this.
Morning. So we were losing, the United States during Biden was losing more than, I won't even give you numbers because they're so embarrassing, but billions of dollars a day on trade. Those numbers are rapidly turning between the tariffs. Don't forget, we're now getting 25% on cars, 25% on aluminum, 25% on steel, and maybe more importantly, massive numbers of companies are moving into the United States. Honda, we have tremendous, the car companies are moving in at levels we've never seen before. The biggest investment ever made in the United States is being made right now. Trillions of dollars. I would say we could be at $9 trillion. You could go back to other presidents. They haven't had $1 trillion for their entire term.
Bro, just
look at Biden. He had
up.
bad numbers. People were leaving. They weren't coming in. They were leaving with Biden, and he didn't know the difference. The only thing he knew is people.
Dude, I feel like after 100 days, you can't keep doing the Biden thing. I feel like after the election, you shouldn't be doing it. Actually, after Biden dropped out, it's kind of a good time to stop talking about Biden. But you want to do it through the election? Okay, I get it. You want to do it at the beginning of the term, talk about, what you're inheriting? Okay, but it's been 100 days, bro. It's been 100 days. Are we still going to be doing Joe Biden stuff in 2026, 27?
Were coming in. You know who they were? Illegal immigrants. Okay, from prisons, from mental institutions, from...
Left alone to his own devices on any question, he will come back to the same campaign talking points from fucking the campaign trail. We have to... You're in a meeting with the Canadian fucking prime minister who just got elected. You've talked about China. You've talked about Canada being the 51st state, and you're talking about mental asylum immigrants. We have not talked about Canada and American relations yet.
All sorts of places that weren't good, from gangs from Venezuela. They were coming in and they were criminals and murderers. 11,888 people that murdered, and at least half of them murdered more than one person. This is what Biden led into our country. I'm bringing in big companies. We have Apple is investing $500 billion. We have Jensen, as you know, is going to be 500 biggest chip maker or chip think.
Hey, he's talking about Jensen. My dog. That means my Trump number is what, 1? I've been in meetings with Jensen, and Jensen's now good closer to Trump. What was I going to say before that Jensen thing? Who did he say before Jensen? Oh, he said Apple. Apple's investment is in India, bro.
Thinker, I call him. He's really a thinker more than a maker. But we also have the maker, Mr. Wei. I get to know them all in the last, it was a cram course. But they're all moving into America because of the tariffs. And
Somebody gave Trump a cram course on the global chip market and said NVIDIA and Jensen are the thinker and TSMC and Mr. Wei are the maker. Bro, watch the Big A clip. I'll give you a cram course, bro. I got a nice diagram. I drew it in paint.
I don't think people have appreciated it. Some people do. Some of the smart people do. So we have more money coming in. It's really an amazing thing. We have more money being invested in the United States now than at any time ever before in our history, and it's not even close. And I think the real
It's not
number could
true.
be 9 or 10 trillion. We don't know everybody that's doing it. We have many. I just heard about a plant that's being built right now, a very, very top of the line company. And they didn't come to the White House. They're just doing it because they're making it because if they build here, there are no tariffs. And this is the big market. This is the market. That sets us apart from it. This is the market.
What do you think about this,
where
Mark
everyone
Carney?
wants to be. Now, if I
Mark
didn't come
Carney,
here and
who's
do
here as
this,
your guest?
all of a sudden we wouldn't be the market where everyone wants to be. So we're able to do it in time. But we're going to have a great announcement. And I'm not necessarily saying it's on trade. Going to the beginning, we're going to have a great announcement over the next few days, an announcement that will be so incredible, so positive. And I'm not saying, I don't want you to think it's necessarily on trade. Just to finish, we also have a situation, because everyone says, when are you going to sign deals? We don't have to sign deals. We could sign 25 deals right now, Howard, if we wanted. We don't have to sign deals. They have to sign deals with us. They want a piece of our market. We don't want a piece of their market. We don't care about their market. They want a piece of our market. So we can just sit down.
We do. We want the goods, okay? Some people want to buy German cars. Some people want to buy Japanese cars. Some people want to buy manufacturing tools from every part of the country. They want to buy Nintendo Switch consoles, okay, from fucking Japan or Vietnam. People want to buy things. They want to buy food that we import, cocoa and diamonds and steel and aluminum that we use for manufacturing. People want these things in our country, and our economy relies on it and has relied on it for decades. The idea that we don't need it is fucking idiotic. It's actually, he's fucking, he's like the fucking right-wing chairman Mao, dude. He wants us all to have a furnace in our backyard smelting fucking iron. It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Oh, my God.
And I'll do this at some point over the next 2 weeks. And I'll sit with Howard and Scott and with our great vice president, who has done a really good job. We have some good news to report on a lot of fronts. But JD will be there, and Marco, and we're going to sit down and we're going to put very fair numbers down. And we're going to say,
I'm not kidding. He's close to a Trump 5-year plan. It's close to, it's so dear leader coded. It's so like he knows about every aspect. It's so central planning coded.
here's what this country, what we want, and congratulations, we have a deal. And they'll either say, great, and they'll start shopping, or they'll say, not good, we're not going to do it. And I said, that's okay, you don't have to shop. Now, we may think, well, they have a right, you know, that maybe we were a little bit wrong, so we'll adjust it. And then you people will say, oh, it's so chaotic. No, we're flexible. But we'll sit down, and we'll, at some point, in some cases, we'll sign some deals. It's much less important than what I'm talking about. For the most part, we're just going to put down a number and say, this is what you're going to pay to shop. And it's going to be a very fair number. It'll be a low number. We're not looking to hurt countries. We want to help countries. We want to be friendly with countries. But you keep writing about deals. When are we going to sign? When? It's very simple. We're going to say, in some cases, we want you to open up your country. In some cases, we want you to drop your tariffs. I mean, India, as an example, is one of the highest tariffs in the world. We're not going to put up with that. And they've agreed already to drop it. They'll drop it to nothing. They've already agreed. They would have never done that for anybody else but me. So
I don't know.
We're going to put down some numbers, and we're going to say our country is open for
next
business.
to you.
And they're going to come in, and they're going to pay for the privilege of being able to shop in the United States of America. It's very simple. It's very simple. So I wish they'd keep, stop asking, how many deals are you signing this week? Because one day we'll come and we'll give you 100 deals. And they don't have to sign. All they have to do is say, oh, we'll start sending our ships right now to pick up whatever we want or to bring whatever we want. It's very, very simple.
India did just sign a big trade deal, but not with America. I think they have a huge deal with the UK and possibly with the EU. I feel like everyone's going to sign trade deals just around us, bro. And they're just going to fucking trade around us.
And I think my people haven't made it clear. We will sign some deals, But much bigger than that is we're going to put down the price that people are going to have to pay to shop in the United States. Think of us as a super luxury store, a store that has the goods. You're going to come and you're going to pay a price.
Dude, we don't have the
and we're
goods.
going to give you a very good price. We're going to make very good deals. And
We're at the store. We have the money. We're the shopper. we don't have the goods. We have the money. And also, this is not what this meeting is about, and the video's half over. Carney hasn't spoken in 15 minutes.
In some cases, we'll adjust. But that's where it is. And we've been ripped off by everybody for 50 years. For 50 years. And we're just not going to do that anymore. We can't do that. And we can't let any country do that to us. We're just not going to do it anymore.
Can you tell us a bit more about the deal that you've reached with the Houthis?
No, it's not a deal. They've said, please don't bomb us anymore, and we're not going to attack your ships.
And where did you hear about that?
Bro, sometimes I feel like Carney when I'm hanging out with Ludwig, dude. And then there's all these people coming up that want a photo with him, and they want to ask him questions, and I just have to sit there. I'm just sitting there like, okay, all right. Yeah, I'll be on my phone. You know? It's like, is no one in this fucking audience going to ask Carney a question? He flew down from Canada. He just got elected. This meeting's supposed to be about the United States and Canada. And you're asking about they're asking Trump about the Houthis?
It doesn't matter where I hear. The very good source, I could tell you. Very, very good source. Would you say Marco? I would say pretty good, right, JD? A very good source. No, they don't want to be. They don't want to be. They don't want to be bombed anymore. You know, I sort of thought that would happen. No, behind you, please.
Clarifying something you said on USMCA. Is the U.S. prepared to walk away from that pact?
From what pact?
USMCA.
No. It's fine. It's there. It's good. We use it for certain things. It's there. We have the USMCA is a good deal for everybody. I won't say this about Mark, but I didn't like his predecessor. I didn't like a person that worked for. She was terrible, actually. She was a terrible person. And she really...
USMCA, I'm confirming because I want to make sure. It was signed by Donald Trump, 2018. Him, Trudeau, and Enrique Nieto of Mexico. And it's just a U.S., Canada, Mexico trade deal that I think replaced NAFTA. I don't know how much different it was, though. Because he's complained about this deal recently. He complained about these trade deals with Canada and Mexico that he signed in 2018, so I'm confused. Okay, I'm back.
hurt that deal very badly because she tried to take advantage of the deal and she didn't get away with it. You know what I'm talking about. But so, you know, we had a bad relationship having to do with the fact that we disagreed with the way they viewed the deal. And we ended it. You know, we ended that relationship pretty much. The USMCA is great for all countries. It's good for all countries. We do have a negotiation coming up over the next year or so to adjust it or terminate it.
Mr. President. I'll say a word on USMCA, if I may, Mr. President. It is a basis for a broader negotiation. Some things about it are going to have to change. And part of the way you've conducted these tariffs has taken advantage of existing aspects of USMCA. So it's going to have to change. There's other elements that are come, and that's part of what we're going to discuss.
Right.
During the campaign, Prime Minister Carney talked about the American vitriol. How do you react if Canada decided not to shop in the American store as much as before and decided to partner with other countries?
Well, we don't do much business with Canada from our standpoint. They do a lot of business with us. We're at like 4%. And usually those things don't last very long. You know, we have great things, great product. The kind of product we sell, nobody else can sell, including military. Look, we make the best military equipment in the world, and Canada buys our military equipment, which we appreciate. But we make the best military equipment in the world by far. The missiles, the submarines, everything. Everything we have is really top notch. I rebuilt our military during our last term. Stupidly, we gave some away to Afghanistan, which shouldn't have happened. But that was, I think it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. It was just very incompetent people. But if you look, the man that's now the head of our Joint Chiefs, he led the attack on ISIS for me. That's why he's the head of the Joint Chiefs. And Raisin Kane, he was unbelievable. And as you know, we defeated ISIS in 3 weeks. It was supposed to take 5 years.
Just
we did
stay
it in
on
3
the
weeks.
fucking subject.
And he ran the campaign. I said, I like him.
Answer the question.
But I knew him before. I went to Iraq, and we agreed to a plan, and that was the plan. And as you know, we did it in
What are we
record
talking
time.
about?
So we have the best equipment in the world. We have the best a lot of things, but Canada it does a lot more business with us than we do with Canada. Yeah.
Let Carney answer. I mean, yes, he doesn't want to. He's not
When
trying
do
to.
you think the investments that you've announced, the trillions, will finally hit economic data this year?
When you're saying about the tariffs and all?
No, about the investments that you've announced.
Oh, it's hitting right now. Look, they're already starting AI plants. These are not people that look for financing. That's a good thing. You know, in real estate, you get a site, then you have to look for financing. You have to get your zoning. You know, 5 years later, you start building. You get a bank, then the bank's no good. These people have massive amounts of cash. The CHIPS Act was a ridiculous thing because that doesn't get them to build. All we did is hand very wealthy companies money. The CHIPS Act that was done by Biden. Billions, we give them billions of dollars. They don't even have to do anything with it. And then if you
had to build.
weren't, if you didn't have, and I don't want to be a wise guy, but if you didn't go with the DEI, if you didn't go with all of the different things woke, if you weren't woke, you couldn't even use the money. You had to have a certain percentage of this and that and that and that. It's impossible.
Nobody's more woke than Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing building in Arizona. Nobody's more fucking woke than those guys. Fucking woke ass.
Impossible to have. The companies actually complained to me. They said they gave me all this money, but nobody can get these people to do anything.
They said, sir.
I mean, look, President Obama, and if he wanted help, I'd give him help because I'm a really good builder and I build on time, on budget. He's building his library in Chicago. It's a disaster. And he said something to the effect, I only want DEI, I only want woke. He wants woke people to build it.
Is that a direct quote? That's a direct quote from Obama. He said, I'm building my disastrous library and I only want DEI, I only want woke. Only woke for me, please. Oh, Carney just sitting there the whole time. No fucking Canadian questions. No asking him. Reporters don't ask him shit. They're just farming Trump for clips. Fuck.
Well, he got woke people, and they have massive cost overruns. The job is stopped. I don't know. It's a disaster. And I don't like that happening because I think it's bad for the presidency that a thing like that should happen. He's got a library that's a disaster.
Who
and
cares?
He wanted to be very politically correct, and he used good, hard, tough, mean construction workers that I love, Marco. I love those construction workers. But he didn't want construction workers. He wanted people that never did it before. And he's got a disaster in his hands, like millions of dollars, many.
Oh my God! Wait, I just realized he's not saying that the library is woke. He is saying that Obama only wanted woke construction workers, and that's why it's not getting built. Obama specifically requested the woke ones. If my construction worker doesn't have purple hair, they're not touching a fucking brick. Okay? That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. That is
really
awesome.
Many millions of dollars over budget. And I would love to help him with it, or somebody else. I could recommend professionals. but it was not built in a professional manner. By the way, nor was in California
Come on,
a little
bro.
train going from San Francisco to Los Angeles that's being run by Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Did you ever hear of Gavin Newsom? He has got, that train is the worst cost overrun I've ever seen. It's like totally out of control. So then they said, all right, we won't go into San Francisco. We'll stop 25 miles short. And we won't go into Los Angeles. We'll stop 25 miles short.
Hey, to be clear, the train he's talking about is a disaster. It's just nobody asked, bro. Nobody asked. Carney's here. There's fucking 10 minutes left. He's just campaigning. He's just farming. He's just yapping, dude. You just have a conversation with this guy.
Hundreds of billions of dollars for this stupid project that should have never been built. And then they realized that it would have been...
It's not. Trains are the best. No, the California high-speed rail is a disaster. I'll go to bat for that. It's a huge, massive cost overrun, time building overrun. In the time that has been talked about, China has built more high-speed rail than we've ever had. Connects their entire country. It's a money pit. It's horrendous. You can't ride it. It's fucking blocked by NIMBYs at every turn. It's a disaster. It's a total disaster. But it's just not relevant to this question.
A lot less costly if we just gave limousine service back and forth and gave it free. They would have saved hundreds of billions of dollars. They have airplanes that go there for one 1/100th the cost, and they have cars. They have a thing called the highway that goes back and forth that's not fully utilized, and they got involved.
Hey, that's where you're wrong, brother. Highways in California are fully utilized. They're fully utilized, bro. I promise you that. That shit's fucking full. Maybe you want to propose your plan of one more lane on every highway, and I'll clap and applaud, dude. Can we please add one more lane? That'll fucking fix it. I'm on board with the one more lane plan. I can feel when I'm stuck in traffic on the 405, I can just feel like, man, one more lane would just fucking fix this. And no, I mean, I'd love trains, man. I would love there to be high-speed rail all up and down the fucking West Coast. From fucking the heart of LA to Vegas to Seattle, dude, to the Bay. It would be fucking awesome. But it just can't be done. No one in the world has ever done it. We're obviously, as the richest country, we're on the cutting edge of this stuff, and no one's done it. It can't be built. It cannot be built. And God willing, someone will figure it out one day.
With this project, and Gavin, I always liked Gavin. I had a good relationship.
You just called him Gavin Newsom. Like a fucking 30 seconds ago. You called him the Gavin Newsom twice. You tapped fucking Carney on the shoulder and said, you heard of this guy, Gavin Newsom?
With him. I just got him a lot of water. I sent in people to open up that water because he refused to do it. And we just got him a lot of water. If they would have had that water, and if they would have done what I said to do, they wouldn't have had the fires in Los Angeles. Those fires would have been put out very quickly. But if you think about it, and you got to take a look at this, it's the worst cost overrun I've ever seen. I've watched a lot of stupid people build a lot of stupid things, but that's the worst cost overrun I've ever seen. What's happening between San Francisco and Los Angeles. And you ought to ask about that, because this government is not going to pay. I told our very great new Secretary of Transportation, he's doing a good job, Sean Duffy, I said, we're not going to pay for that thing. It's out of control. This is something that you don't have things like this. It's not even conceivable. Like 30 times.
They call it, Carney, you don't understand. It's called a train. A terrain. You wouldn't even, it's cutting edge shit. We only have it in America. And let me be honest with you, in California, they can't figure this shit out. They can't figure this shit out. It's a people mover. Think of it like an extra long moose, Carney. You know Wayne Gretzky when he's playing hockey, it's like you know how he's zooming on the skates? It's like that, but on, we call them rails. Fucking dumbass. God damn, this is a fucking hard meeting to watch.
Times over budget, 30 times. It's the craziest thing and now it's hundreds of, it was supposed to be a simple train. And I think the media should take a look at it. And I'd love him to run for president on the other side. You know, I'd love to see that. But I don't think he's going to be running because that one project alone, well, that and the fires and a lot of other things.
Dude, Carney's bored.
Pretty much put him out of the race.
Mr. President, what changes would you like to see to the USMCA? Or what changes would you like to see?
We're going to work on some subtle changes, maybe. I don't even know if we're going to be dealing with USMCA. We're dealing more with concepts right now. Look, right now, we're doing trade. We have trade. This
is why you can't ask him a real question about U.S.-Canada. There's no, it's just fucking
and I think
waffling.
we have a baseline of 10% or something like that for the tariffs, but we're getting along very well. Right now, going no further, but we have an agreement. We did something with even parts. You want to discuss that, Howard, with respect to Canada, which helps Canada out?
Sure. So we've made an arrangement with the car companies that 15%.
Fucking hate Howard Lutnick. Straight up. I'm glad his face is blocked. Donald Trump not coming off great in this meeting, but I'm sure he could dance my heart back. But Howard Lutnick is such a sleazy, used car salesman, suck up, kiss ass motherfucker. Howard Lutnick got no fucking spine, got no intelligence, just a fucking sleazeball, dude. No, I mean, at least ask Scott Besson something. This is...
Of their USMCA parts are included, and then 15% of foreign parts from the manufactured suggested retail price are not tariffed to help domestic manufacturing really thrive.
So it gave them a chance to be able to build their car parts factories if they're going to... A lot of these companies already have factories, and what they have to do is just fill them out. But they're able to build them in the United States, so we gave them a pretty substantial period of time.
I think. Just to clarify, Mr. President, is there anything the Prime Minister can say
Dude, let Carney speak.
to change your mind on tariffing Canada?
Tariffing cars?
Tariffing Canada. Is there anything he could say to you in the course of your meetings with him today that would get you to lift tariffs on Canada?
No.
Why not?
Just the way it is.
I thought it was about making a deal. There's nothing he could do that would make you to stop tariffing Canada. No, that's just the way it is. What's the point of the meeting then? And let Carney speak.
The first state, if Canadians don't want it, would you respect that?
Sure, I would. But this is not necessarily a one-day deal. This is over a period of time they have to make that decision. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, if I may. Respectfully, Canadians' view on this is not going to change on the 51st state. Secondly, we are the largest client of the United States in the totality of all the goods. So we are the largest client of the United States. We have a tremendous auto sector between the two of us, and the changes that made have been helpful. 50% of a car that comes from Canada is American. That's not like anywhere else in the world. And to your question about is there one thing? No, this is a bigger discussion. There are much bigger forces involved, and this will take some time and some discussions, and that's why we're here, to have those discussions, and that is represented by who's sitting around the table.
See, the conflict is, and this is very friendly. We're not. This is not going to be like we had another little blow up with somebody else. That was a much different. This is a very friendly conversation, but
he's talking about Zelensky. I do notice J.D. Vance been dead quiet. I think the game plan was don't let J.D. Vance speak. They probably has fucking mouth zip tied, dude.
We want to make our own cars. We don't really want cars from Canada. And we put tariffs on cars from Canada, and at a certain point, it won't make economic sense for Canada to build those cars. And we don't want steel from Canada because we're making our own steel, and we're having massive steel plants being built right now as we speak. We really don't want Canadian steel, and we don't want Canadian aluminum and various other things because we want to be able to do it ourselves. And we, because of, past things.
Dude, straight up fucking why? Straight up fucking why? It's crazy, dude. Raw materials are the best fucking thing to import. It's the best. You import steel and aluminum, you can build things with them and sell the higher value products. Steel and aluminum imports from a close neighbor that you're allied with, that's a slam dunk.
Thinking of people, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. In other words, they have a surplus with us. And there's no reason for us to be subsidizing Canada. Canada's a place that will have to be able to take care of itself economically. I assume they can. I will tell you that Trudeau, when I spoke to him, I used to call him Governor Trudeau. I think that probably didn't help his election. But when I spoke to him, I said, so why are we taking your cars? Why are we taking we want to make them ourselves. I mean, I said, and if the price of your cars went up, or if we put a tariff on your cars of 25%, what would that mean to you? He said that would mean the end of Canada. He actually said that to me.
Yeah, Governor Trudeau said your tariff would be the end of Canada.
And I said, that's a strange answer, but I understand his answer.
Dude, I asked Ludwig the other day if he was a huge pussy boy. He said, yes, I am. I'm a huge pussy boy. I thought that was a strange answer. I thought that was strange that he said that, but it's true. It's true. It's true. And this story that I'm telling, this quote that I'm making that you haven't heard anywhere else, it's true. And I thought it was strange. I thought it really threw me off, but it's a fact.
But no, I mean, it's hard to justify subsidizing Canada to the tune of maybe $200 billion a year. We protect Canada militarily, and we always will. We're going to, that's not a money thing. But we always will. But, it's not fair. But why are we subsidizing Canada $200 billion a year, or whatever the number might be? It's a very substantial number. And it's hard for the American taxpayer to
Carney holding it
say,
in.
gee whiz, we love doing it.
He's holding
Thank
it
you very
in.
much. We're going to have a very satisfying.
All right. Hey, you know what? I respect it, dude. He kept his cool. He said, fuck it. Fuck this. I'm going to hold my tongue. I'm going to get some kind of fucking deal signed. And we're going to long-term fucking move away from dealing with this country, which is net negative for America. Pretty clearly. Pretty fucking clearly. But what are you going to do? That was insane. He got like a minute of time to talk in this whole 34-minute press conference, most of which was not about Canada. Truly, truly, truly the art of the deal, baby. Holy shit, he's done it again. Holy shit, he's done it again. My God. The art of the fucking deal. He's just too damn good at it. Holy. All right. Well, that was wild to watch. What else did I want to talk about? GTA 6 talked about. We watched the trailer. Wasn't there a video I wanted to watch that was more fun? Dude, the CBC News. Dude, look at the CBC News. Wait, they have you can't see it. Oh, wait. There. It's right there. It says dodging landmines, how Carney navigated his Trump meeting. But he didn't even speak, bro. He did dodge landmines, I'll give him that, but it's funny that, the Canadian one's cut down. He just fucking How was the dodge? Oh, yeah. I mean, any one of those could have been a landmine. Mark Carney undergoes reality TV hazing at Trump meeting. It was an agonizing watch. Yeah, the Canadian side is going to be interesting for this. Oh, wait, they spoke again after the Trump meeting.
President Trump and I met today as leaders of two sovereign independent nations. And I want to thank the president and the members of his cabinet that attended for welcoming me and my colleagues to the White House and for our very constructive discussions. I conveyed to the president today what our countries have long proven to be true, that Canada and the United States are stronger when we work together. We can get a better deal for our workers. We can create more opportunities for our businesses. We can build stronger economies across North America when we work together.
Sirens.
And really today marked the end of the beginning of a process of the United States and Canada redefining that relationship of working together. The question is how we will cooperate in the future, how we can build an economic and security relationship.
It's kind of dope he brought this custom maple leaf podium to do this speech. That's kind of cool.
Built on mutual respect, built on common interests, and that delivers transformational benefits to our economies. We had what I would describe as wide-ranging and, as I said a moment ago, very constructive discussions. We agreed to have further conversations in the coming weeks, and we are.
I'm sure they were wide-ranging.
In
I'm sure that ranged all the way from immigrants in mental asylums to Obama's woke construction workers. I'm sure it was a wide range. I'm not sure you talked so much about specifics of trade policy, but
person at the G7 summit in Kananaskis in Alberta. Now, while that's going on, in Canada, we will focus on what we can control. Alors, demain, je réunirai.
So tomorrow, I will be meeting with the First Ministers for a call to discuss the conversation that we had here today and to also discuss the work ahead.
We are going to reinforce our strength at home. We will reinforce Canada's security for an increasingly dangerous and divided world. We will transform our border security, our security in the Arctic, and our support for our allies around the world. We'll build an economy that creates jobs, grows incomes, and withstands shocks, with, in fact, the strongest economy in the G7, an economy that works for everyone.
We will build a renewed Canadian economy where everyone can succeed in a world that is being deeply transformed. We will build infrastructure that will allow businesses to access the new markets around the world. And we will build...
Yeah, I mean, so let's bring this up just while we're here. Canada has pivoted to selling oil to China instead of the U.S. And they've begun to do more deals with I don't know if they'll join the EU, but they've been doing stronger EU ties, stronger EU trade deals. So, I mean, the subtext of what he's saying is that, we'll get a deal here and then keep building up our capability to trade elsewhere so that we don't need a deal here. I don't think I need to watch the rest of this full thing, but... Hey, Melvin, thank you for the 15 months. Thank you for the 15 months. Much appreciated. Oysters, thank you for the 33. Ordo, thank you for the prime. Hetros, thank you for the 48. Good God. We talked about Alberta secession. Sorry. No, I haven't talked about it. I only heard about it from a Spectacor. All I know is they're talking about having a vote to secede or become only the 51st state in Alberta. But my understanding is that the votes aren't there. It's like a 15% kind of thing. They don't have it. That's my understanding, but I have to look more into it. Robin Addict Fan, thank you for the 4 months. That's fun. Thank you for the 4. Appreciate it. Very much appreciated. Oh, let's watch this video I wanted to watch. This is just a fucking interesting video. Maybe we'll fucking learn a damn thing. Maybe it'll just be fun, or we can make fun of it. I don't care. This guy went to India to start a burrito business, and it got it got 5 million views in 10 days, so I wanted to fucking watch it. It's one of those make it CNBC videos. I left the U.S. for India and built a $23 million burrito business.
Coming to India to do business is a big learning curve.
White guy goes to India to open a burrito business? Locals shocked when he speaks fluent Hindi?
Curve. First, India is a learning curve, then business in India is a...
Oh, shit's loud, huh?
Further learning curve. For me, it was all about letting India be India. If you find monotony dull, if you find comfort boring, then India is a perfect place to be. Nothing is predictable. Every day is different. I took it as par for the course that I would just have to adjust to this in order to be successful here.
Okay. He's got that, I had to do it to him fit on. He's got that. He just looks like the grown-up version of that guy.
My name is Bert Mueller. I'm 35 years old. I live in Bengaluru, India, and I moved here in December 2011.
It's California burrito?
So when I looked at starting a Mexican...
Nobody can make an authentic California burrito like this guy. Like a 35-year-old white boy, dude. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A fucking man. Maybe he's half Latino, like me.
Inspired restaurant in India, there was just Taco Bell. Even now, 13 years in the future, very few people have started Mexican restaurants.
So funny to be like, all I saw was Taco Bell, which is like obviously not real Mexican food. That's why I knew I had to step up. That's why I knew I had to step up. I knew that India needed to taste the real, authentic.
Today with California Burrito, we have 103 stores. This journey from 1 to 103 stores has taken us almost 12 plus years. When we started our first store, in our first financial year, we did about $500,000. Last year...
I'm moving to Australia to open a Chinese food empire. Okay, be fucking ready. All right, okay? Be fucking ready. Atrioc's orange chicken is going to go dumb hard. Actually, Australia has a ton of Chinese food. I need to move to... Where do I got to move to? I'm going to move to Poland. Yeah, I'm gonna launch Greek food in fucking Shenzhen, and I'm the guy.
We did $23 million. It's at about 85 rupees to the dollar. Starting out in India was very challenging, but I never doubted that I had made a right decision, and I think India's stretched me as a person, and it's
so
really
much
a wonderful
B-roll of him
place to
walking
be.
around
I'm
with a
very happy
briefcase.
living here. The apartment I stay in has 3 bedrooms. It's a duplex, and it costs me about $1,200 a month. And a lot of these furnitures also were my grandparents, so it's passed through the family and now really feels like my old house in the U.S. here in India.
Your family likely comes from wealth and owns the grand piano. That's a fucking shocker. I never expected this.
This is where I take my coffee in the morning and look out over the small garden I have. This is my small garden, my patio. I have a large avocado tree right over here. Now, it's not usually raining in Bangalore right now. This is very unseasonal. I grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland, right outside Washington, D.C., a very traditional suburban, middle-class American childhood, I would say. I went to the College of William & Mary in Virginia. I had a double major in music and public policy.
Sheesh.
I had the opportunity to study abroad, and I saw most people were going to Spain or Italy, and I'm a bit of a contrarian, and I wanted to go somewhere that was radically different than the U.S.
8348.
So I decided that India was the place to be.
Okay.
Gosh, my first trip to India was...
It's so funny because he's not. I just realized he's not even from California. It's called California Burrito. He's not even from California. Bro literally just picked a part of the U.S. that he could brand. That's fucking crazy. It's just, it's a good name. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, whatever. Don't knock the hustle, I guess. But it's crazy. It cannot be a good burrito, bro. I can't imagine.
Crazy in a sense, and it was so...
It's like the guy that made Outback Steakhouse, you know? That my understanding is that nobody who owns or created that restaurant has anything to do with Australia at all. They just made it up. They made up the whole fucking thing, and they made a bunch of money. And that is how I get my Australian history before I work on my presentations. I go to Outback Steakhouse and I ask the servers.
Different than what I had grown up with. I came out here with about 20 people on the study abroad program. Some people got sick. Some people, didn't like the food. It didn't treat their system well. I was certainly someone who blossomed and was very comfortable navigating India, whereas most other people in the program weren't. As an individual, I've always been somebody who's extremely frugal. What do I spend? In terms of groceries, I spend anywhere between $150 to $200 a month. Once I came to India and then I went back, I never wanted to have Indian food in the U.S. again because whatever I'd had in India was so good.
This is how everybody eating your burritos will feel when they have them anywhere else. Just being for real, dude. Just being for real. Is that...
everything else paled in comparison. On eating out, it's probably another $200 a month, maybe $400 if it's a very active month. The challenges of living here is it can be frustrating to get things done. Patience is kind of the right strategy usually.
Crazy.
They say fortune favors the bold. I would say India favors the patient. The other thing is, knock on wood, I had actually not had any health issues, but last year I got dengue in August, and then I got typhoid in January. So I'd gone for 13 years with no problems, and then last year I got
typhoid back to back.
So, there are health issues that can arise that would not happen in the U.S., and these are not small issues. All the people in our program were living with families. One of my friends was of Mexican origin. One day I came over to her house and I saw she'd made this food for the family she was living with, and they were loving the food. As soon as I saw that, I thought, that maybe this was something I could do. I could bring Mexican-inspired cuisine to India.
Damn, 2,000 people?
When we were raising money for our first store, we estimated we needed about $100,000 to do it. We raised $250,000, so that was from friends, family. Two of my childhood friends decided to join, and we opened in October 2012, our first store. The store did extremely well. All of a sudden, it was clear that we needed to grow our own ingredients. So in 2018, we ordered Hass avocado trees from California. We imported them and we planted them, about 500 of them. 6 months in, some elephants came through the avocado farm and trampled 60 of the trees. The past 13 years, we've worked hard to make the food taste like you would get it in California or taste like you get it in Mexico. If you use the tomatoes from India, they taste very different than the tomatoes you'd get in the US. And the onions taste very different, the beans taste different. So it takes a lot of time to develop the supply chain that leads to a food that, while is approachable for someone who's from India, is also
Let me be honest, this is actually making me real hungry for tacos, though. This actual good one's not really his. I want to go to a fucking...
differentiated from a flavor perspective. So when we break down that 23 million...
You think I can Uber Eats it from India? You think I can Uber Eats some California burrito from... fucking
$1 million revenue. Our food costs are about 37% food and packing costs. Our labor costs would be about 12% and approximately 4% on marketing. Real estate would be about 9%. And then corporate overhead would be about 5%. And we have other operating expenses. So at the bottom line, you could say it's around 10%. Our plan is to reach 300 stores by 2030, at which point we would probably list the company and do an IPO in India, and we'll see what happens. For me, living in India feels like I'm a part of this incredible once-in-a-lifetime growth story. India is on a growth story that other countries have already gone through. And to be able to witness the transformation and change that people's lives are experiencing is really powerful. I think it's also just a wonderful place to be from a life experience perspective, and I couldn't be happier to be here.
The guy's so strange. What is the... He's like a Patrick Bateman-esque. The weird stare and the pause and the B-roll. Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Crazy, but he is right about India's growth right now. Is California burrito in other places? I'm reading some of the comments. California burrito. Oh, he's not even the top result. California burrito company. Wait, there's a California burrito in Buenos Aires? Exact same thing? Wait, different white guy started a different California burrito in South America? No, it's a different company. I swear to God. Wait. Oh, it's out of business. It's all on Wikipedia, but it's out of business. Interesting. Dude, look at this. Look at this. I mean, it's literally different people who were on a university study abroad and then moved to Buenos Aires and opened a California Burrito. Like, this guy did the same thing, but he did it, 4 years later, but in India. Different guy. It's out of business now. That's crazy. There's one in Seattle. There's probably one in fucking Russia, dude. Everyone's just using the name California Burrito. There's a Warren Buffett kids cartoon? Damn, it's too long. Too long. I ought to watch it. I can't believe there's a Warren Buffett kids cartoon. I've heard of this, but I never... Oh, wasn't there a new Almost Friday, too? Almost Friday?
The express.
I survived meeting my girlfriend's friends.
The expressions heaven on earth and hell on earth refer to different...
Dude, I'm not a manager. Stop fucking making me a manager.
The expressions heaven on earth and hell on earth refer to different states of human existence. What if I told you there was a third state, in between heaven and hell, in between pain and suffering? Tonight's story is about a young man who experienced purgatory on earth. A young man who was forced to hang out at night with his girlfriend.
They did it 480p on purpose. It's kind of swag. It's like a parody of those old... That's pretty good to make it 480p on purpose. That's actually kind of swag.
And her friends.
Hosted by Lex Dexter.
On a stormy summer night, 25-year-old Ryan Banner was alone in his apartment, playing his little games. It was heaven on earth, until he received a phone call from his girlfriend of 4 months, Mary.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, what are you doing tonight?
Nothing. Got nothing going on.
Oh, perfect. I'm having the girls over for a little gathering. Would love it if you came.
Yeah. What time?
If you've got nothing going on, wanna just come over now? Everyone just got here.
Awesome. I'll see you there.
Awesome. See you soon.
Yeah, the adrenaline kicked in, and I was just thinking of any excuse I could, but I couldn't think of one, and that's why I ended up going.
Hey guys, this is Ryan. We finally get to meet the mystery man. We've heard so much about you. Give us a spin.
All right.
Molly is so funny. I could tell that Ryan felt comfortable and really liked my friends.
It wasn't that funny. I was just uncomfortable.
Wait, Emily, tell him that crazy story you were telling us the other night.
Yes. Oh my God, it was insane. I'll give you some context. Do you know Bryce Trenton?
No.
Have you seen Love Island?
No.
Yes, you have. We've seen a few episodes together. He's seen it.
Oh, I have seen it. Okay.
Well, he was from the last season. And do you know the Spray Lounge? Have you ever been?
No.
Well, I was there last night and I saw Bryce Trenton.
That was the whole story, start to finish. Jesus wept. Ryan felt like he had been in there for hours, but it had only been 3 minutes.
Where'd you get this candle?
Yankee Candle.
Hey, do you have anything to drink?
Like alcohol?
Yes.
No, sorry. So far, it was really fun, and I could tell that Ryan was having a really good time.
When Mary said there was no alcohol, I was like, oh, fuck, I really should have brought my own, because I just knew I couldn't get through it sober. And her friends are really nice people, but I wanted to kill myself.
Ryan knew the night ahead called for something stronger than water. But the well is always dry in purgatory. In fact, he thought all hope was lost. Until...
Dean's gonna be here in a second. I'll go let him in.
Dean is Lauren's boyfriend.
Oh, cool. Relief completely filled my body when I found out another guy was coming. Because I thought it'd make it easier to hang out. He'll probably have alcohol. And then Dean walked in.
Dean! 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 Dean!
Ladies, as always, a treat to be in your company. Oh. Who's this young pharaoh?
Ryan.
Dean Chateau. It's a pleasure.
Within seconds of meeting Dean, I knew he was going to be a brutal hang.
I'm like cilantro. You either love me or you hate me. Or you haven't had me yet. In that case, I say, hello, Queen. The name's Dean Chateau.
Yeah, all hope of escaping this purgatory was now fully...
Bravo. Cinema! What a tour de force performance by Liam as Dean Chateau. My God, I feel like I'm in the moment. So natural.
The name's Dean Chateau.
Yeah, all hope of escaping this purgatory was now fully shattered. Ryan knew he just had one option left.
Okay, everyone pulls a card one at a time. If you get a 2, you are out. If you get a 6, you are out. If you get a 9, you are out. If you get a 7, you are out. If you get an 8, you're out.
When
King,
Dean started explaining the card game he invented, I went into fight or flight mode, so I had to start a fight with Mary and her friends.
Love, even in its infancy, can bite.
I didn't have a choice.
6 out, said that. 10 out. 4 out.
Are you having fun?
You're out. Yeah. 5 gone.
You like my friends?
Yeah, they're really funny and pretty.
Jack, you're out.
Calling Mary's friends funny and pretty started the fight almost immediately.
Yeah, that made me really angry. So I told everyone I was sick and I asked them to leave.
She did.
And then I screamed at Ryan for the rest of the night.
She did.
This was your opportunity to meet my friends and make a good impression. And you call them pretty in front of my face, and they hear that.
What is worse, to feel pain or to feel nothing at all? Ryan chose pain over purgatory. Ryan sent himself into hell, and his suffering was legendary. A worse fate? Perhaps, but at least Ryan chose his own destiny. And at least Ryan survived hanging out with his girlfriend and those brick-headed friends of hers. And remember, this could happen to you.
Powerful stuff. I personally think Dean Chateau would be a great community member. Perhaps he could run the Reddit. He could be a perfect part of... Gonna be an ad, right?
Are any of these your cards? Do any of these belong to you? Not one. You're out. You're out. You're out. Now there's 5 left. Now these are very important. You're going to want to make sure you pay attention to this part. If this isn't it, you're out. This is...
Oh, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Get that man a Discord to moderate right now. Hey, fucking men. Hey, fucking men. You can buy some of the new gold stuff in the White House on Alibaba. Base, dude. I will buy that ASAP. I want to decorate my stream room like the Oval Office. CBC News about that. CBC News about that. What is this?
We went to...
Anything particular that I would want to see? Some of these are 600 views. Oh, the Alberta separation? All right, I'll look real quick and then
actually happen?
I did
Alberta
watch
calling
GTA
it quits with Canada after a 120-year-long marriage? Most Albertans apparently think so, even if they don't want it.
We're looking at a majority of people who are right now looking at Alberta separation as an issue that is real. It's certainly different from what we see in other parts of the country where the numbers are lower. We don't see any other part of Canada where we reach such a high number of people who say this is a real possibility.
Mario Canseco asked 1,200 Canadians who had just voted to think about the effect a Liberal win could have in provinces where most people vote Conservative, Alberta in particular. The pollster found 65% of Canadians don't want Alberta to leave. 64% of Albertans say the same. However, he also found that 58% of Albertans...
Isn't that just open and shut then? 64% of Albertans don't want to leave. You're not even close to a majority, let alone what you probably need to even...
8% of Albertans think separation is a real possibility, and 28% of voters in the province would welcome it. So why would a majority of Albertans think separation could happen if only a minority actually wanted to? I mean, there's always been an element at the fringes with an appetite for the idea. What's changed? Well, in recent months, Trump's talk of a 51st state has normalized a new challenge to Confederation. And then domestically, those who've been keeping an eye on this stuff for decades have been warning that the idea of Alberta separating is not feeling as fringy as it used to.
There's a danger that if the Carney Liberals are returned to office, you're going to trigger a secession-type movement.
Since the Carney Liberals were returned to office, organizers of a push for a referendum on the question of secession tell CBC News they've seen a surge in interest. So much so, the group thinks it'll be no problem securing the number of signatures needed to trigger a vote, in part because Danielle Smith is making that easier by lowering the threshold for a referendum, something she announced the day after the election.
Do you support the efforts to hold a referendum on Alberta separating from Canada?
I support the process of citizens being able to choose an issue that they care about and then being able to get enough signatures to put it to the people.
Citizens who want a separate Alberta are now calling for it outside the legislature, and Canseco is drawing a straight line from that directly to the Premier.
I think it is a factor because it lends more credibility to the cause than it's ever had before.
Smith has said she wants Alberta to remain in Canada. What she hasn't said is whether she would honor a referendum that somehow resulted in a yes vote.
Well, I didn't answer much. I guess it's something to follow up on. Chat, I'm starving hungry. I might rap here. And by that, I mean do a rap. A freestyle rap. I'm very, 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 very hungry. And also, I think Andor's tonight, and Ari's going to want to watch it, and I'm trying to do that. Did we go over Buffett? No, I haven't done my fucking Buffett presentation. I mean, the main thing is he stepped down, if you guys don't know, after a long time, but I have some stuff I want to say about it. What about the Australian housing crisis? Oh, wait, there was an Australian video I wanted to watch. But I'll watch that. I'll watch that. It was about Australia's economy, and I wanted to get a better idea of it.
Australia.
This was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I wanted to watch this.
The land of sandy beaches, koalas, and flat whites.
Why Australia's miracle economy is fading. I think this is important because they just had their election. And one of the things I said was, you know, Labour Party got a majority there. They have basically open season to create the change they want to see. And they're going to need to do something about the economy because it's in a bad spot. And I wanted to get a better idea of how it's uniquely, the unique challenges they're facing in Australia right now.
The land down under has also long been known for its prosperous economy, with many calling it the lucky country.
Oh, yeah.
But that might be starting to change.
Australia's economy is known as a miracle economy, but miracles don't last forever.
When it comes to Australia, things look good until you peer under the hood. The economy has continued to grow well. However, in per person terms, we've been going backwards.
In other words,
You
while
record
Australia's
scratched it?
economy isn't in a recession,
They just record scratched the Australian economy. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. Housing prices, fucking 14x median income.
its people are.
We start to have a rules that we just can eat out once per week. We really watch what we spend and we have a budget for everything.
So how did Australia's economy get here? And is the country running out of luck?
Okay, gambler intro. I'm hooked.
Australia is one of those rare countries in the world which has avoided a recession since the early 1990s, if you take the pandemic period out. And that is largely owing to its huge resources.
We've had a
They
couple
do
of
got
mining
a
booms
lot of
in a row.
resources.
These were catalyzed by China's strong growth and emergence as
They
it
sold a
continued
ton
to
of,
develop following its accession to the World Trade Organization and its
minerals
entry
and
into the
coal to
global
China.
economy.
Australia is the world's second largest exporter of coal and also a top producer of iron ore, natural gas and gold.
Gold, baby!
Natural resources make up nearly 60% of all the country's exports. Between June 2023 and June 2024, mining alone contributed to $280 billion in export revenue. That's more than the
Is it
entire
clean coal? It's
GDP
gotta
of New
be.
Zealand or Greece.
Another big contributor for Australia's economic growth has been population. Australia has relied a lot on international migration. Over the past 20 years, migration growth in Australia has been 35%.
Yeah, Aiden brought a topic to the lemonade stand about how Australia, so many of the colleges there have basically made a huge profit selling degrees to foreign students. Just an absolutely insane. They're basically just ripping off foreign students because they don't even give them any kind of education. It's a degree mill, and they farm a bunch of cash off them. It's huge.
That is much faster than any other developed world countries.
Australia's always been an immigration nation, and strong population growth has been one of those things that helped to underpin that growth story.
In fact, Australia's economy has grown every single year over the past 3 decades, barring the pandemic period. The country's economy even grew during the financial crisis, unlike other major economies like the US, Canada, and the UK, which all went through a recession.
All right.
But lately, Australia's been having a bad streak.
Hi everyone, my name is Kim Dao. I'm 30 years old. I'm the
Hello,
owner
Kim.
at a small coffee shop. I'm from Vietnam. I first came to Australia in July 2017. Last year, we were trying to look for a one-bedroom apartment for me and my boyfriend. It took us 6 months to find one. And we keep
Jesus.
applying, but it's all got rejected. And there's always a very big line of people inspecting the properties.
Kim is not alone.
Australia is in the
Dude, that
grips
big
of
of
a
a line for a
well-documented
one-bedroom
housing
apartment.
crisis as home prices continue to climb with demand still outstripping supply.
This shows the median price of a house relative to income. Homes in Sydney are the second most expensive in the world, just after Hong Kong. And it's not only housing prices that have been going up.
Dude, it's crazy to think I almost lived in San Jose. I mean, I did live in San Jose for years for NVIDIA, but I was like at a moment in my life where I was like, maybe I'll get a house here and try to live here for decades and do a long-term NVIDIA thing. Because I fucking hated San Jose. And just imagine paying 11.9x. And San Jose's got nothing, bro. Nothing going for it. Nothing culturally, nothing. Dodge the bullet.
Up.
Bloomberg has a barbecue index.
The Sharks? I'm not a hockey guy, but that is true that a lot of people, even at the office, were Sharks people. That is something. They would wear the jerseys.
That measures
On like Casual Friday. You know? On Casual Friday, you see a guy come in the office with a Sharks jersey. For sure. For sure. Go Sharks.
The prices of food that goes into a barbecue. So we are talking prices of pork, beef, ice creams, cheeses, vegetables.
Since its creation in 2020, the price of all of these ingredients have risen significantly.
Because we have to bake fresh every day, so we have to constantly, like buy new fresh ingredients.
Damn, that looks good.
Those price fluctuation
I'm
is
too
really,
hungry.
really hitting us
We
hard.
keep watching food
but
stuff.
you know that people are suffering as well. You're kind of hesitant to increase the price because it's pressure for everyone. We will soon have to.
While Australia isn't unique in seeing high inflation, the problem is that what's not been going up at the same rate as prices has been people's wages.
People are feeling like they are paying a lot more for
They are,
everyday
not
goods,
feeling, they are.
but they are not making a lot more money.
Take a look at this chart. The blue line shows the inflation rate in Australia, and these bars show how wages have changed taking inflation into account. As you can see here, for more than 2 years, real wages were negative. And while the country's overall GDP continued to grow, its GDP per capita began to fall.
Yeah, it's mostly
In fact, per
because
capita
of immigration.
GDP fell for 21 consecutive months from March
Yikes.
2023
Fucking
until
yikes.
December 2024. All of this means that at the end of the day, people can afford to buy and save less. These lines show the growth in household disposable income. Australia's doing relatively well. Then the pandemic hit, and look at what happens. It falls way below the OECD average. There are several factors behind this unlucky streak. While the country's widely welcomed immigrants, it hasn't expanded its housing supply fast enough to accommodate the inflow of people.
After the pandemic, when Australia reopened its borders, we saw a big influx of people coming from overseas, and that put a lot of pressure on our existing resources, in particular housing.
Land use and land supply has been constrained by planning regulations.
Australia has
At
not
least all
built
the
enough
wealthy
affordable
landowners
or
got
social
their real estate
housing.
value up.
That is a big gap in the market.
That's good.
Rental affordability is at its lowest since at least 2008. That is a very big proportion of anybody's income going into rents or going into mortgage payments.
A good way of figuring out the health of an economy is how much people
It does feel like, someone in chat put this more succinctly than me, but it feels like they've done really well at the mining, but not so much at the crafting, if that makes any sense. They're halfway there. They're crushing that first half. It's like you've got the flint, but you don't have the steel. You've got the chicken, but you don't have the jockey. Are we trying to are we really?
spend versus their income. Australia's household debt is over 200% of household income. That's one of the highest in the world.
Damn.
In comparison, the US is around half this. And then there's the issue of
We're
productivity.
getting mauled on household debt by 5 countries?
US is around half this. And then there's the issue of productivity.
Productivity in very simple terms is how much you
Americans, start borrowing. Buy now, pay later. Credit card. Get that new Ford F-150 you've been having your eye on that you can't afford. Okay? I'm not letting us get bogged here.
produce from your existing resources. If I'm able to produce more goods and services from my existing resources, then I'm able to make more profits. I'm probably able to pay more wages.
Australian
more
money's
to
fire.
economic activity,
Australian money is
paying
so
more
sick.
taxes, etc.
It looks
So
nice.
what's the problem?
It's probably one of the nicest looking money in the world. I saw it when I did that Bluey presentation before. They have a good looking aesthetic on the money.
Well, Australia's productivity's been flagging.
If we look over the course of the last decade, GDP per
Switzerland has the best money, no contest. All right, well, let's check before we continue. Because I can't picture Swiss money. Swiss money. This is the best money, no contest, you say. Here's what it looks like. It's all different hand symbols. What are these gang signs? Are they in MS-13? What is this, MS-13 money? What the fuck is this? I mean, this is fine. I don't know if this is let's look at the Australian money. Let me just show you. I feel like Australian money, it's got that clean graphic design. It kind of pops. Like, oh, I hate when it doesn't give me the high-res version. Is this? Bro, give me the high-res version so that I can show my chat. You son of a gun. I'm sorting by large. Here, I mean, this is as close as we're going to get, I guess. It actually won't give me the high-res version. I'm not going to counterfeit it. I'm not going to counterfeit it. Okay, I promise. There we go. I am going to counterfeit it. I just think, you may not like her particular face, but I think the bird, the colors, the fade, I think it's nice, dude. I think it's nice. I think it looks cool. The kiwi, yeah. Look at it from like this. Look at this. Okay, this is where it looks swag. And they still got the greenback for the hundo. You know what I'm saying? So you still get that. I do feel like green is the color of money, man. And I feel like 100, I think that's good. But then you have these that kind of pop a little more. A red 20, that just feels cool. I like the idea of having a red 20. I wish we had different colored money outside of the 100. I think we should keep the Franklin, the Benjamins, greenbacks, classic American. But I think we could mix up the other ones. The 50 looks cool. They got kangaroo dollar quarters, dollar coins. Damn, they straight up have rue dollars. This mogs them. Who mogs who? Did I just lose that video I was watching? I did. Oh, I found it. Okay.
For hour worked in Australia's economy has been flat. It's almost a lost decade of productivity growth.
And you can see this here. The orange line, which is Australia, was above the green line, which is the US, for years. Then comes the pandemic, and the country's productivity growth switches.
Australia's economy is very services dependent. Care sector is Australia's largest sector.
We've seen big increases.
What about the pandemic hit Australia extra hard? What did they do differently in Australia for the pandemic? Did they not take ivermectin?
In disability services, age services, some of these less productive relative to mining or manufacturing or other industries within the economy.
Then if you look at startups, which usually drive up productivity, their funding per capita in Australia is way behind other countries. Inserting that dynamism into the economy, and in turn, boosting productivity, will be a key challenge for the Australian government in the years to come.
This is a whole new world of uncertainty that we're dealing with here. We're seeing policy uncertainty out of the US. True. China is slowing. True. And so our job is to provide that cost of living relief in a responsible way at the same time as we make our economy more resilient to these external shocks.
Some politicians have spoken about the need for an economic reform. Australia has not had a major economic reform since the 1990s.
Okay, let's just be real clear here. Real fucking clear. There is a tax benefit associated with home ownership. Negative gearing. You have to get rid of that. You just have to get rid of it. You have to change the zoning laws to allow more building. Those are two things you have to do. If you don't do it, you're cooked. It will continue to get worse. Everything will revolve around that. Boomers will love it. Somebody has to take a sacrifice. And the person that should sacrifice is the old wealthy homeowner. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know. I understand they vote. I understand. But if there is not a removal of negative gearing and a changing of zoning laws to create new construction, a lot of it's just icing on the cake. The Labour Party ran on getting rid of negative gearing and they lost an unlosable election. Yeah, listen, I understand, but they just got a mandate. They just got the majority they need. I don't know how long that lasts, how many years. Now's the time, bro. You have to take the L. 3 years? 4? But it's Wednesday in Australia already. You're saying they're a day behind, so there's no more time to do it. You're saying my advice here, it's too late because they're already a whole day ahead. I see. No, that's fair. That's fair.
On the manufacturing side of the economy and the mining side of the economy, we can continue to foster innovation, encourage investment to help make sure that those industries are as competitive as possible.
The government's already taken a step in this direction by introducing a plan to boost green manufacturing and high tech. However, analysts say the funding levels are comparatively small and more work needs to be done to identify potential opportunities for Australia.
That is really important in this current era of trade war where countries are slapping tariffs on one another.
Fixing the housing crisis will be another.
Countries, we don't know who. Countries are slapping tariffs on one another. Willy-nilly out of the blue. All these countries are doing it.
A key challenge.
Australia has earned a fairly good reputation as one of the highest performing economies in the world. But what's at stake here, if we don't turn this productivity story around, is seeing Australia's relative economic standing begin to fall behind.
Interesting video. Yeah, but I mean, I think they wish they talked more about negative gearing and zoning reform. The dark beating heart of Australia's housing crisis, which is the larger beating heart of their inequality problem, which is the larger beating heart of the unrest. I am going to end because I'm starving hungry and both these videos had food in it. Thanks for watching today. I appreciate you. Very interesting stuff. Be back tomorrow. I'll watch a house tomorrow and I would like to do a Warren Buffett presentation tomorrow. And I delayed it twice. I'm sorry, but we'll raid somebody. I'm going to go watch Andor with my wife and eat a burrito. It sounds like an awesome night. I will raid a Spectacor. And actually, I'm sure he has really interesting thoughts about Danielle Smith and the secession in Canada. I think he's told me about it, and I think he would love to tell you more and how stupid it is or how great it is. Maybe he's changed his mind. Maybe he's changed his mind. So give him some love, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.